Hi folks, so today we are doing a walk around Southwell in Nottinghamshire, and we're doing the Bramley apple trail. Now, if you didn't know, the Bramley apple originates from Southwell. It was first germinated in Southwell. So we're doing the trail that takes us all around Southwell to some key points in the history of the Bromley. Okay, welcome. You join us today at Southwell Minster, and we're doing the Bromley apple trail. So we're going to take you for a walk all the way around and tell you the history of the Bromley apple, or parts of it anyway, and we'll see what other cool things we find on our walk around. I hope you enjoy it. It should be a good one, folks, because Southwell is a beautiful place and it's a beautiful sunny day. So yeah, let's get on with it. So this is SA Christa Prebend, a house for quiet days and retreats. I just want to show you that there in the middle. I think it's shut now, to be honest. Alright, so we're walking straight into town. Here in Southwell. And we're going to make our way round 2.1. The slush is back, Jazz. £1.50. Just get busy in there. Not many in there at the moment. So today we're heading up Queen Street. And there's a few shops around here on Queen Street. I've got the Birds, the confectionaries. Still got a shop here. Yeah, down so. Yeah, bagpuss in window there, look. Bagpuss.
Bagpuss.
£35 for bagpuss.
What's a bagpuss?
You used to be on telly, it's an old-fashioned kids show. There now.
So on this street, H. Merriweather and his son's nursery and the cultivating of the Bromley apple had its very humble beginning. Henry worked with his father at Norwood Park for 5 years before they decided to buy 2 acres of land along Hallam Road in 1854. This was so that the Merriweathers could begin their own nurseries, and 2 acres was sufficient for Merriweather and Son to start their business. In the early days, Merriweather and Sons concentrated on cultivating and selling fruit, and in particular strawberries. So this is Norwood Park now, and it's a place where they do wedding fairs. And as you like it, it's going to be here, the Duke's Theatre Company. But yep, we're not going that way. We're going basically around Norwood Park, round to the side of it. So this land over here is the land that the Merriweathers owned, which is Norwood Gardens, where they planted lots of strawberries and lots of apple trees. So as you can see here, they are cultivating lots of trees. So I mean, I don't know, they could be apple trees, they could be pear trees, I'm not sure. But the Merriweathers, their land where they grew the Bromley apple and other fruit and strawberries, which they're quite famous for the strawberries as well, they timed it right, because the train station had just really, the train line had just started establishing itself. So it's getting a lot more people coming into Southwell at the time, and obviously it gave the opportunity for the Merryweathers to export the goods out and, you know, basically spread the word of the Bramley apple, which is what they did. If you're watching this and you've ever had a Bramley apple in your life, say so in the comments. I'm guessing if you're British, you've had a Bramley apple. Some of the best apple pies are made with Bramleys. So put in the comments below, folks, if you've ever had a Bramley apple and a Bramley apple pie or crumble. So I want to show you this. This is the golf course here at Southwell. It's big. It's big. Look at the grounds it's in. Got a lovely pond. Somebody's over there having a bit of a picnic. We're right up on the hill over there. We've got some kind of summer house. And then we've got the apple trees or pear trees or damsons. And Norwood Gardens is over there. It's a beautiful, absolutely beautiful day. We are coming up to the golf course, but I want to show you. I want to show you this. There's a helicopter down here, folks. Got to do a close up of the helicopter, haven't we? Absolutely beautiful. The house, I mean. The helicopter's beautiful as well, of course it is. So if you're wondering, that is Norwood Hall over there. That is at Norwood Hall. So now we are heading straight down to the old Rower line, which is now a bridleway. These old trees. That's good, that. Love this old tree line here as we're walking through. So we're heading up to the Southwell Trail. Is it Southwell? Is it Southwell? So as we get up to the Southwell Trail, I'll talk a bit more about the connection with the Bromley apple. Alright, so now we are on the Southwell Trail. So this was once a very busy railway line that ran from Ralston Junction all the way to Farnsfield. It's now as you can see, a cycle path and walkway, 7.5 miles long. Gets very busy in the summer, as you can see now. Quite busy with walkers and people on horseback and cyclists. So this trail did play a significant role within the story of the Bramley apple. It's with the help of this development that the H. Merryweather and Sons were able to market their produce and gardening products to a much larger audience, which made it a lot more successful. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk all the way down to the bottom, and we should come out near the old workhouse, which we're not going to go in today. It is it National Trust, Shelley? Yeah. It is a National Trust site, but we're not heading in there today. But I will show it you from the outside. And it also is a significant building within the history of Southwell. Yeah, it's an absolutely glorious day. So this circular walk we're on is about 6.5 miles long. Probably mentioned it at the start. and we're, I'd say, almost halfway around it now. So to show you, we've come out onto we're part of the Southern Trail, where there's a car park here, but you can actually go all the way to Bilsthorpe. It doesn't end at Farnsfield. It actually goes all the way to Bilsthorpe. So we've got to come across this road where the old mill is to continue down the railway line. Just shows about the railway. So we've got a pub here which is called the Final Whistle, which is right next to the old railway line here in Southwell. And this is an old post here, as you can see. It's connected, which used to be part of the railway line. So yeah, next to the railway line here we have the mill, Southwell Mill, which is a big mill. It's got a Heritage Trust sign on it, so we're going to have a quick look at the Heritage Trust sign. But yeah, the mill itself is absolutely huge here. Oh, yeah, they are. Let's go and check the Heritage sign out. It tells you about the mill, 1867 on the sign.
Hey, mate. I'm well, how are you? I've got your eye. Yeah. Have a good day. See you.
So yeah, mill conversion into apartments now. Look at the top one up there. Be nice if you've got that one. Imagine it's not cheap though. Let's apologise about noise, there's lots of cars coming up and down here. But we're going to continue now down the Southwell Trail, and we're going to head all the way down to the old workhouse. Sophie's dog grooming. That's a lovely house with the trees. Very nice. Right, so keep on going down the trail. Just want to show you a lovely garden with 3 trees. This is like a community walk, this in this area of Southwell. And if you live in the area, hello. I'm a fairly local resident myself. I only live a few miles away, and I've walked this area many times. It's always one of my favourite places to walk, and me and the wife do keep saying we'd like to move here at some point in the future. So yeah, we keep saying this is the place we'd like to live. You never know, if I ever made it successful on YouTube, I might have enough money to buy a house down here. Problem is I haven't really got them kind of funds to live in this area. But as you can see, one of these houses would be perfect. So there's a lovely little bit of a community area here where you can just walk around. Little sign down here telling you probably about the wildflowers. Oh, it's about the orchard community, yeah.
Apples.
So the land is now planted as an orchard, which was previously a grass meadow, but now it's a mown walkway that leads to the planted area where wildflower mix has been sown. and actually there's the fruit is freely allowed to be picked here by local people, and it has been designed that way so you can pick fruit. This has been planted in memory of Frida. A beautiful little area next to the trail. So, as previously mentioned, the workhouse is now under ownership of the National Trust. It's the only workhouse to survive fully intact from this period. In what used to be the main vegetable garden, 3 large Bramley apple trees can be seen, planted to provide fresh fruit which could be used and kept all year round. Although these trees would have supplied copious amounts of apples each year, there is no record that the paupers of the workhouse were ever allowed to have Bramley apples. It's probably likely that it's the staff that actually had them. It is believed they may have been purchased from Mayweather and Sons nursery in 1900. So yeah, it is the old traditional workhouse, and I have actually done a video on this before, so if you want to check that out. I did a little walk around the workhouse a few years ago. Just looking at this building here, it's next to the public footpath. It's quite an old building, but we are in town now, so we are getting up to towards the town centre, but we're diverting off because we are heading to the main orchard, one of the main orchards. That is the plan. So just reference, if you're doing the Bramley Apple Trail, there are markers dotted around. That's the first one I've actually seen at this part of the walk, quite some time. But there's 2 walks you can do, there's a shorter one and a longer one. And we've now joined, I think, between the 2. So one thing I'll give you, it's a pretty flat walk all the way through. It's a beautiful May day. So if you do enjoy my content, please, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel, and I'd massively appreciate it if you shared the content with your friends and ask them to subscribe. I do seem to struggle with views on the channel. On some of my videos do not do very well at all, so the more views I get, the better. Looks like we've got to navigate a bit of mud here, guys. Okay, got some rocks, trees to walk over and stuff. Oh, that's proper mud and all. Thankfully someone's put down some bits for us to climb over. It shows you how much rain we've had over the weeks and months. Okay, bit of a quandary, which way we're supposed to go here?
Straight on.
Straight on?
That would take us to the main road. Depends whether you want to straight over and skip some of it or not.
Yes, so smash that like, folks. I would massively appreciate it. And we are heading up to another orchard. But yeah, if you didn't know where the Bramley apple came from, this is where it's from, folks. Well, I've got one bit of wood here. Not a very big one, but we've got one. It's giving us a little bit of shade. I mean, we could do with it, to be fair. It's getting fairly warm. And I'll tell you, Nottinghamshire is underrated. There's a lot of places to walk and see in Nottinghamshire. It's a very underrated county because everyone wants to go to Derbyshire, and a lot of people just don't bother with visiting this county. Okay, so as you come in, you've come off the field and you've walked up the path. We're then coming up a bit and we're crossing over the public bridleway, continuing past Brinkley Farm. So we're heading down to, well, basically heading down to Brinkley Farm. So we found what we think might be the orchard. Which is here. So we're just having a walk around. It is following the Bramley apple path, so yeah. Try and get a photo of this. Okay, folks. So we are heading up through the orchard. I imagine these look fantastic in the summer with a bit of fruit on them. Okay, so this is the heritage orchard. It was planted in 2004 and consists of varieties being grown by H. Merriweather and Sons at the time the company ceased to trade. There are more than 30 varieties in addition to a number of all other fruits. We've got some damsons here, some plums and some Nottingham medlars. A shelter belt of other trees, so some birches, acers have been planted to give interest to more varieties of fruit. Now, I'm not sure if this is the full orchard or not, or if the orchard's at the other side of the home over there. But yeah, some original Bramleys. Right, we'll carry on now, folks, and we're going to head to Easthorpe. Absolutely beautiful wild meadow. Oh, you can smell it. If you had smell-o-vision, guys, it smells gorgeous. Luckily, I don't suffer too badly from hay fever, and nor do the rest of the family, thankfully. But I love it. I love walking through wild meadows like this. Certainly need more of it. So thank you to the landowners. I know it's not easy when you've trying to run a farm, but I appreciate it a lot. It is nice to have these wildflowers. So tell me what you think in the comments. When you're coming out the footpath onto Pollard Road, just remember you've got to turn right. It's hard to see in the summer, but then you're turning left through here, so it's like you can't see it from the path. But we're going through and then around the stables. Where all the horses are. And we're heading, like I say, down to Easthorpe now. Alright, so we've come out now to the allotments. Perfect day for the allotments today. Found another little wooded area as we just passed the allotments, which is nice. Of course, cools you down a little bit. I'd say it's not a baking hot, but when you're doing a 6 or 7 mile hike, then It's nice just to cool you down a little bit. Yeah. Not seeing a lot of wildlife on this walk today, but it is lunchtime, so there's the Southwell Minster in all its glory as we're walking his way back down to town, with a couple of diversions down here, but we are heading back as we make our way back to Southwell Minster. So we're now heading up towards the Minster, but first we have got to take a bit of a detour. There's a couple of other points that I would like to show you, part of this Bramley trail, before we get back to the Minster. So the homes here, this is Harvey's Field. We nearly bought one of these homes around here years ago. It was very much like this one on the corner house. So the original Bramley apple tree resides here at 75 Church Street, and it is currently owned by Nottinghamshire Trent University as part of a scheme to keep the mother tree alive for as long as possible, since it has been struck by the infection honey fungus. The fruit from the original Bramley apple tree was first sold in 1859 by a gardener with the blessing of the then owner of the cottage at Church Street, Matthew Bramley. So the blue plaque on the wall here reads, "The Bramley apple tree was grown from a pip by a young lady, Mary Ann Brailsford, between 1809 and 1815. It was thought that it came from an apple grown on a tree at the bottom of her garden, which is now number 75. One seedling produced very fine apples in 1837. When the newer occupier was Mr. Matthew Bramley, a local gardener, Henry Merriweather later obtained permission to take cuttings from this tree, and it was duly registered as the Bramley seedling. Mary Ann Brailsford is credited as the originator of the Bramley apple, having sown the seeds for the first Bramley apple tree in 1809 here in Southwell. Mary Ann was only a child when she decided to plant these pips and started the process of growing the first Bramley apple tree. Although Mary Ann planted the pip, some credit is also given to her mother, who very likely nurtured the tree from pip maturing to an established tree over a number of years. So interestingly, Matthew Bramley was the guy who gave his name to the Bramley apple fruit in the initial sale by Henry Mayweather, as he owned the cottage where the original Bramley apple tree had been planted. The Reverend J.T. Beecher lived here from 1805 until his death in 1848. During that time, he was a dominant influence in the town, especially in matters relating to the workhouse, the Minster and the House of Correction. The building was later used as a boarding house by the Minster School. So there's a little bit more information which is to do with the Bramley apple. So Beecher, who brought his gardener to work with him when he took up residence at Norwood Hall, and hence the introduction of the Mayweather family to Southwell and the beginning of the Bramley apple story. So this is the end of the walk, but also the beginning of the Bramley apple. I'll show you this house here. It's always been one of my favourites. It's obviously got some significance. I don't know what the significance is to Southwell. I'm sure there'll be someone out there who'll tell me. But it's a beautiful house. Backs right onto the Minster. which we're heading through next. But it's always been absolutely the prebend, Normanton prebend. Okay folks, so I've done an independent little walk around the Palace Gardens and the Archbishop's ruins, so please go and check that video out. I will share the link, you'll have to find it on the screen now, and if not, it'll be in the description, so go and check it out and just have a look at the Palace Gardens. They're beautiful and not very busy. I mean, could you believe it's a Sunday lunchtime? There's no one here. There's literally no one around. There's a couple of people. There's a couple down there with the children and a couple of people sitting on a bench around the corner. But yeah, we've been here for half an hour now and there's literally nobody around there. Now the couple down there are watching me, filming probably. Alright, so I hope you do watch this. I've done my best not to film my children because that's what I do. We don't tend to film children unless it's unavoidable and I'm in a town. But yeah, some of the gravestones in here and tombs are really, really impressive, but then it would be because it's a minster. And some of the biggest ones are here. And you can't read any of those. Now, you know yourself, next to a church will always be the vicar, priest, bishop. But this is the Bishop of Southwell, 1904 to 1925, I do believe. And his wife, Mary Constance Maud, 1853 to 1939, so she lived a long and fruitful life. And this is the headmaster of the College Winchester, St Mary's College Winchester, 1866 to 1884. The first Bishop of Southwell, 1884 to 1904. And John Dennis Wakelings McMad, 1918 to 2004, Bishop of Southwell, 1970 to 1985. And Patrick Burnett Harris, the Bishop of Argentina, 1973 to 1918, and the Bishop of Southwell, 1988 to 1999. I'll say there is a lot of gravestones here, folks, a lot that are important. Richard Goodchild Esquire, 26 December 1820. Now I'm not heading in there today. I've just gone through the entrance and there's something happening, some kind of service on, so decided to not go in. But yeah, there's other videos on YouTube showing you the inside of the minster. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I blocked your view.
Alright folks, so we're going to end it there. Right back at the Minster where we started. Hope you enjoyed it. So please remember to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. And if I've got one question for you, have you ever had a Bramley apple? And what have you had it in? Hi everyone, so I hope you enjoyed that walk. It was a lot of fun, we enjoyed it, and if you get the chance, do it yourself. It's part of the Heritage Trail here in Southwell and definitely worth doing. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again in the next one, and please remember to check out the playlist.